customer to be done this day, you know, making sure that everything's like aligned.
Hire a company to do kind of like, they'll do the website and everything and all that, and they'll help me set up software?
You could. I mean, you could definitely do something like that. I think for something small, you could just look up like maybe like a QuickBooks for all of your like kind of accounting needs, because it'd be pretty small. So like they do a good job of servicing, you know, that kind of stuff as far as your financial stuff. You could look into like there's these companies called like Slack or like Workflow or even some Microsoft stuff that they'd be able to like, okay, you know, you can kind of fill in like your parts build. So say like, okay, somebody brings you in like a tractor and it has like a blown clutch seal and radiator issues or something like that. And you go, okay, well the radiator's going to be here on the 10th. The clutch seal's not going to be here till the 23rd. And then you're going to need 3 or 4 days to put it all together. So you could, you know, basically share with the customer, hey, here's kind of the status of your process. You know, currently your ETA, and then you pad it a couple days maybe and say, you know, we're going to have this done in 21 days or something like that. Because, you know, the first process, I'm sure, whenever they drop stuff off to you, is you go, okay, well, let me take a look at it. And then you kind of do your initial inspection or whatever. And then you go, you know, here's kind of what we have decided it's going to cost. You know, and that's when you would run through that pricing template that you would work on. You go, you know, here's the cost. Do you want to go through this? Do you not? And then you say, let me order parts. And then you can order parts, you know, or whatever, and say, okay, you know, we're expecting to have it done in X number of days. So, and that's just kind of my idea of how I would do it, I guess. I mean, you can obviously do it however you want, but
that's kind of how I think I would do it.
Just, I feel like with a lot of these places.
What the heck was that?
G35, VQ V6.
Rice, man. So rice.
Very rice. Fry rice. I think
a lot of these places,
like the more direction you can give, because I feel like a lot of times people feel like they're getting ripped off of the mechanic because like they don't understand what's going on. They don't really, and a lot of times they don't care to, right? And so they just see a big bill and they go whatever. But if you go, hey, we're going to be more transparent, you know, here's kind of what's going on, or here's like even like an online, like, you know how like when you order Papa John's and give you like a pizza tracker, you can almost give them like a tracker for like their individual project, which would be really cool. And go, you know,
ordered.
Yeah, initial inspection the 11th, parts ordered the 13th, you know, customer approval the 12th, parts ordered the 12th, ETA for parts, ETA for completion. And so like they can work because they have business to run, right? So they need that piece of equipment, they need this or that. And then you can charge like expedite fees, like, hey, you know, if we want to do this, we can overnight these parts, you know, we can add some overtime into the quote if you need it done sooner, so you can work more hours, but then you need to charge them more, you know.
Which
hey, we can get this done for you.
Contracting guys, sometimes they want it because they're like, well, if I don't get this done,
it's worth the money,
this week, I'm going to have to rent that machine.
If you go, hey, it's going to be $150 extra, they go, well, it's going to cost me $150 to rent the machine, so
one day
I'll just, let's do it. So,
true.
I think something like that would just be, because the more communication, right, the better, like, they're going to like you and go, man, this guy's super organized, he's got his stuff together, he was on time.
They never feel
he
like
let me know of delays.
Yeah, they're never just like stuck in the dark.
Because it's terrible, like, you know, you never want them to call you and go, hey, is this done? You said it'd be done this day. And you go, oh, shoot, I forgot to tell you there's a delay or this or that. And that stuff will happen, obviously, but the more you can get ahead of it, the better.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I don't know. And look, it'll be a learning process, obviously. Like, it's your first kind of thing. So it's a lot of it's just going to be hit the ground running. Okay. What do we do here? How am I going to do this? Like today with your G, like, you know, you weren't anticipating it stripping out, but like that's kind of a cost you'd have to build in. So it's like, yeah, this job should in theory take 4 hours, but I'm going to build in 6 because one thing goes wrong. Like you can't plan perfection, right? And then you just lose your butt. It's like, you know, you want to cut them a deal, but. And then I think it's where you want to be in the market too, because there's like different segments, right? It's like, well, I don't want to be the lowest priced. I don't want to be the highest priced. I want to be like the best value. Or maybe you want to cater to more higher end people that demand a higher level of service.
Yeah,
you know,
like perfection. They don't want.
Yeah. Or like, you know, you deal with guys that like, look, if it's running, like we're good. You know, like I just need it to run.
Yeah, I don't want to be in that market.
No.
I hate that.
But you also don't
Just make my piece of junk work.
Yeah. And so
we don't do that here.
It's all market positioning. Yeah, you just go, look, we're not your shop. You know, here's what we do. Here's kind of our, I guess it sounds cheesy, but you kind of have like a vision board, like a mission statement, basically. So it's like, okay, what are you guys about? You know,
Yeah.
You go, here we're about, what are we doing here?
Oh, we lose the lane.
Okay. Just slow it down, just a merge.
Merge, everybody, merge.
Just merge, guys, come on. Come on. Come on. So.
Yes, indeed.
No, you just go, you know, here at Herschel's diesel supply.
Whatever the heck we're doing, yeah.
You know,
No. And I don't want to be the guy that just throws things together. Like, oh yeah, make it work. Because that's like to me, that's just like a recipe for like,
well, that's not your style either.
Satisfaction. I don't want to be, I want to turn out things I can be proud of and not just like, whatever. And I understand. I've fixed fires and like been like, all right, we fixed your fire, we'll get you down the road, you know, but really what I like to do is make it all good, make it all right.
Well, and I think that'll be down to the types of customers you kind of sort through too. Like I was saying, you know, if you turn away certain people or go, you know, hey, it's not really what we do here, or hey, you know, it's really going to take this to do it right. Do you want to do it right, or, you know, take it to some other shop kind of thing?
Yeah.
So.
Get the light right here. Jeez. Village Loop.
Yeah. It'll be cool to watch. I'm excited to see you grow,
Yeah.
work on it, start it out. Because it's cool, like, starting from scratch, because, like, there's not really, like, you don't have to follow any kind of template. You can just do, like, hey,
Yeah.
this wasn't working, or I wasn't making enough here. I was, you know, nobody was
Yeah.
coming here because they were telling me it was too expensive, or...
In our pricing, we missed this X factor, or whatever it was. We got to change our pricing up now.
Yeah.
Because we aren't doing what we're supposed to do. We're driving everyone away with our high prices or something. You know?
Yeah.
Now, there will be some learning curve, that's for sure.
And I think it's just finding the right customer, too, because a lot of business is just finding the right fit, right? There's going to be people that just want the cheapest crap no matter what. There's going to be people that will just write you a blank check and just go, look, just make it, just take care of it like it's your own. You know what I mean?
They don't even care if you... Like,
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's going to be this much money. And they're like, okay, do it. You know, like... and then there's going to be people in between that are just, you know, hey, you know, I'm kind of on a budget. Like, here's what I'm looking to spend on this. What can you do for me? What can we, you know, can we get a reman? Can we do this? Can we do that? So... And it really just depends on the type of thing you're, you know, if you're working on diesel trucks, you might have one kind of type of customer. And then if you're working on small equipment, or like, I don't know if you're going to do even small stuff like lawn, you know, hedge trimmers or blowers or that kind of little two-stroke stuff. Okay. So I didn't know, like, kind of what your niche was, I guess. And that's another thing that you're probably going to have to figure out.
Like commercial lawnmowers,
Okay.
I would do like skid steers, mini X's, like trailer welding or whatever.
Sure.
Nothing fancy welding wise, because I just can't. I don't have the skills to sell that, like to make that product.
You know the difference between a good welder and a bad welder is?
Yeah, I'm a bad welder, but I can make a trailer look fun. You know, I can sell a trailer weld.
It's a grinder and it's pretty painful.
Stainless.
Grind the welds smooth and
Yeah.
paint it up.
Grinder.
Grinder, it's pretty painful.
Grinder paint makes me the welder I am.
When I was working construction, they would say caulk to fit and paint to match. And if you really look at like the trim and like a Circle K, really anywhere you go and you see, wow, that's really, like if you look closely, you're like, wow, that's really not that good. Yeah, trim is, it's like most people don't even notice it because you look from afar and you're not looking for it, but once you start looking for it, you go, oh, that's not great.
Yeah. The other miter was not set up right.
Yeah. Or the caulking's terrible, or the, you know, the gaps are bad, or whatever. commercial lawn equipment, so how would we market this? Where are we gonna get our customers from? What's our funnel?
Our funnel?
Our funnel. You gotta funnel customers. So you gotta find the customers, and then you've gotta have them kind of drop down to be, you find the prospects, I guess. Then you would convert them into customers, which would then convert into sales dollars.
Yeah.
So you'd funnel them.
So we're gonna go after like small, like residential type contractors.
Okay.
Because most like the commercial guys, they usually have a contract or like a mechanic.
Sure.
For
like,
them,
like
they have
on
enough
staff
work.
or something.
Yeah. Like, but if they've only got 2 or 3 machines or whatever,
They can't afford it.
they
yeah.
can't afford to pay a guy full time to be a mechanic.
Sure.
But
So where would you find these small commercial guys?
on the street somewhere. I don't know how this works.
No, I'm just curious.
So like one guy I have a hookup with that I
Okay.
do his stuff. He like I don't know. He's partners with my partner's son,
Okay.
and so and he has like 4 pieces of equipment, and he brings them into me every 3 or 4 months, and I service them, and usually fix some other little thing that's whatever needs getting fixed. Like I did the service on a Mini X, and then he's like, "Can you put new teeth on it too?" And like we like looked at his tracks, and his tracks are like kind of getting torn up. So he's like, "Oh, maybe we'll do tracks next time."
Yeah.
And so
when you do a good job for him, so you finish the job,
hopefully,
and then do you ask for referrals? Has that been kind of a common thing? Like, hey, do you have any other buddies that
Not
need some
really,
help?
because
Okay.
I've been
be working for Leroy?
I'm working for Leroy,
Okay.
and I don't want too much work.
Sure.
I haven't wanted
So there's a good question.
Joe Schmo off the street.
How do
But
you?
at this point moving forward, we say, hey, like, send us your buddies, send us your pals.
So how are you gonna meter out too much work? How are you gonna avoid? Because the problem is, you turn somebody away and then they never come back, right? They go, oh, that guy was too busy. Blah,
Yeah,
blah. So how
true.
do you balance that?
I don't know. I think you gotta book out 2 weeks.
Okay.
Like, you want 2 weeks of work.
So a standard
at
lead
least,
time. Okay.
But like,
Sure. So would you tell them, hey, we're 3 weeks out right now. We'd love to work with you, but we're 3 weeks out. If we can get to you sooner, we will, kind of thing?
I think it just kind of depends on where you're actually at with, like, how busy you are.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
like-
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if say you're
But
swamped.
if I'm swamped and I'm like 2-3 weeks out, I'd be like, look, I'm 2 weeks out. Like,
Okay.
and then, like, if we're consistently 2 weeks out,
Yeah.
then what we need to do is we need to hire another mechanic and upscale production a little bit. And
So what's going to be your threshold? How busy are you going to allow yourself to get before you try and hire somebody else? Or are you already looking for like kind of a shop hand?
no, I'm
Like
not
an
looking
apprentice?
yet. If I'm like if I start working like 70 hours a week every
Okay.
week, then it's time.
Okay.
It's time to
70 hours.
Pull the
is
trigger.
Okay.
because I don't want to do that long term.
Absolutely.
But I feel like that's saying, hey, I've got enough work to keep me busy for 70 hours.
Sure. Yeah, that's a lot of time.
I'm going to hire someone to take a little bit of this workload, and then I can go back to working 40 hours a week. Like, I like to work because I like my work schedule now. I work 40 hours a week. I'm done. I get out.
Okay, so
I like
yeah,
it.
Makes sense.
But I realize, like, you running a business, you
well,
gotta
early
be
on,
there
especially, I
early
think
on.
you're going to be putting in,
I gotta put in the time, the hours.
because you're going to be figuring out how to run it at the same time as actually doing the physical labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like, yeah, doing some like the paperwork and behind the scenes stuff
Absolutely.
is gonna take up some time.
Sure.
And that probably will take up some time forever.
Well, I think so like, 10 years from now,
10 years from now.
how do you see this business operating? What are
Well,
you doing there?
In 10 years, hopefully I've bought my partner out.
Okay.
And I am mostly like management at that point.
So you're just managing it.
Managing it. I will step in and like help make technical decisions once in a while.
Okay.
And maybe help do some work once in a while. You know, just based on like, okay, like my guys are all busy, I need to step in and help and get this job done for a customer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hopefully in 10, 12 years it's paid off and I am sole owner and yeah. I'm not rolling around on the floor for the rest of my life, which has been the goal forever.
Okay.
So
10 years paid off. You're gonna have how many guys? Ballpark it. 5, 10,
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay.
In 10 years, that's where I.
So you're gonna have like a shop manager probably, or would you be the manager? Kind of like Carlsbad's like Paul or something.
Yeah, I would probably have somebody.
Like a front office kind of guy.
Yeah, because at that point you kind of have someone
Interface with
calling
the customers. Sure.
and stuff. There's quite a bit
Sure.
of that.
Okay.
And
So we're gonna have one of those. Kind of have like a bookkeeper probably, and you can even outsource that, right? It wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang, people are dumping more and more stuff here.
Dude, every day.
Look at these mattresses over here, dude. We need to go pull a mattress behind the LTH.
Good. Be fun.
I don't think it would pull it.
You don't think?
No.
I think if we got a running start, maybe.
Yeah. Do we have a big strap?